4:47 in the morning, Twin Falls County, Idaho. 34 degrees Fahrenheit. The sky is still black at the edges. 3 diesel engines are already running. You can hear them before you see them. A low mechanical rumble that carries across flat ground with nothing to stop it. 300,000 acres of potatoes are waiting in this soil. 45 days to get them out. That window opens in September. It closes when the ground freezes. When frost penetrates more than a few inches down, the harvesters can't dig without bruising every potato they touch. Bruised potatoes rot in storage. Rotted potatoes mean losses in the millions. The calendar doesn't negotiate. There are roughly 600 potato growers across southern Idaho's Snake River Plain. Some operate 200 acres. Some operate 3,000. The total harvest volume across the season, 13 billion pounds. That's not an estimate. It's a production target. Built around contracts with Weston, Simplot, and McDonald's. Contracts that cannot slip. Every field that doesn't come in on time creates a ripple through the supply chain. Every equipment breakdown is a problem with a clock attached to it. By 5:15 a.m., the first harvester convoy is moving. A 6-row potato harvester weighs close to 40,000 pounds empty. It moves at roughly 3 miles per hour through a field. On a clean run with no delays, a single machine covers 50 to 60 acres in a full operating day. Most operations run multiple machines simultaneously. 2, 3, sometimes 4 harvesters, working the same field in parallel rows, staggered so their bin trucks can pull alongside without crossing paths. The bin truck is the pacer. It matches speed with the harvester. The conveyor belt dumps potatoes continuously into the truck bed. When the truck reaches 20 tons, it peels off, heads for the receiving station. A second truck takes its place. There's no pause in that handoff. You stop the harvester for a truck swap. You lose time. You lose enough time across a season. You lose the field. The crew running this operation, a 480-acre block in Jerome County, is 12 people on the first shift, field supervisor, 2 harvester operators, 4 bin truck drivers, 3 sorters on the conveyor line, 1 field mechanic, 1 person managing the receiving station 5 miles out. They've worked together for 6 years. The youngest is 23. The oldest is 61. He's been running potato harvests in Idaho since 1989. He says the machines have changed. The timeline hasn't. The harvester doesn't pull potatoes by hand. It runs angled digging blades, called shares, that slice beneath the potato zone, 8 to 10 inches below the surface. The blades lift the entire soil column. Potatoes, clods, rocks, vine fragments, all of it moves backward onto chain-link webs that shake the soil through while carrying potatoes forward. This is where skill enters. The operators are adjusting ground speed, share depth, web speed, and clod management constantly, based on soil condition. Wet soil clods more. Dry soil flows cleaner. A rock that makes it through can damage a potato or damage the machine. At the sorting platform, 3 workers stand at the conveyor. Their job is to pull anything that isn't a potato. The belt moves continuously. On a well-running machine at full speed, they're making individual decisions every 2 to 3 seconds. By 7 a.m., the eastern edge of the field is catching the first flat light. The harvesters are visible as silhouettes, massive, angular machines kicking up a pale dust trail. The field smells like broken soil and diesel. The workers on the platform have their hoods up. The air temperature is still 38 degrees. Growing the potatoes is one challenge. Storing 13 billion pounds of them is another. Idaho's potato storage infrastructure. is some of the most engineered in American agriculture. Purpose-built storage structures, called cellars, can hold up to 40 million pounds each. The goal of storage is not simply to pile potatoes and wait. The first 2 weeks are the curing period. Temperatures held between 50 and 60 degrees, high humidity. The skin of a freshly harvested potato is thin, easily damaged. Curing thickens the skin and heals surface cuts made by the harvest equipment. Skip the curing window, and the entire stored volume is at risk. When a storage fill starts running behind schedule because a harvester went down, because rain came early, because a truck broke an axle on a county road, every step in the chain compresses. Processing plants don't hold intake windows open indefinitely. Contracts are written to daily volumes. The math is unforgiving. 9:14 p.m. The second shift began at 7 o'clock. Headlights are now the only light source on the field. Night harvest is logistically tighter. Visibility drops. Rock detection becomes harder on the sort line. Equipment issues take longer to diagnose. The field mechanic earns his day wage between 9 p.m. and 2 a.m. But the night shift doesn't stop. Not during a 45-day window. Not with frost forecast for the third week of October. The crew leaders talk about the season in layers. First week, easy ground, dry conditions. Machinery getting dialed in. Second week, pace accelerates, fatigue starts accumulating. Third week, the calendar pressure is real. Fourth week, weather becomes everything. A 3-day rain event in week 3 can shift the entire operation. Wet soil compacts under harvester weight. Wheel traffic creates ruts that damage remaining crop. The operation may slow by 40%. And the lost days don't come back. Growers watch weather apps the way traders watch markets. Hourly updates. Radar loops. Wind direction. Rain expected in 48 hours. The overnight push runs extended shifts. Rain expected in 18 hours. Decisions happen fast. Every truckload that leaves a potato field in Idaho has a destination logged before it departs. Some loads go to fresh pack packing houses. Most, 60 to 70% of Idaho's total crop, go to processing plants. Weston, Simplot. A single plant may receive 2,000 tons of raw potatoes per day. The potatoes that arrive at a processing plant are tested on intake. Specific gravity is measured. This tells the plant the solids content, how much of the potato is starch versus water. Higher solids means crispier fries. Lower solids means fries that absorb more oil, come out limp. Specific gravity determines the price received by the grower on that load, measured at the scale, while the driver is still waiting. The entire transaction takes less than 10 minutes. There are 7 days left in the practical window for this operation. 600 acres remain. The weather station outside Burley is showing a hard frost advisory for the 12th. 5 days out. Not a light frost. Ground frost. The kind that locks the top layer and makes the shares bounce and skip. The grower has made the call. 3-shift operations. Continuous. The harvesters will not stop except for fueling, maintenance, and mandatory equipment checks. Every person in this chain, from the harvester operator in the cab to the ventilation tech in the storage cellar, is working toward the same variable. Get the crop in before the ground locks. The last harvester makes its final pass on day 44. The field behind it is flat, bare, combed clean of vine fragments, a thin skin of frost at the surface edges. Near the fence line, total yield, just over 52,000 hundredweight from this block. 21 loaded bin trucks went out in the last 18 hours of operation. The storage cells are at 94% capacity. The crew is already planning the drive north. There's a beet harvest in Nampa that starts in 4 days. Same kind of window. Same kind of pressure. The field supervisor walks the last row before the crew loads out. He checks the edge rows where the shares turned. That's where you see the most mechanical damage, the most left behind material. The rows are clean. He gets in the truck. The field is quiet again. Until next season. This is America's Harvest, the work that happens before the shelves are stocked. Subscribe and tell us where you're watching from. Have you ever worked a harvest? Have you seen one? Share your experience below. That's how these stories travel.